We are here with Mary Beth Tinker, a student right activist and obviously free speech activist from the 1969 Tinker vs. Des Moines case. So I just kind of wanted to get your scope on, because you've seen obviously when you grew up and now you're seeing students' rights changing today. What have been some differences between now and then?
One thing is unchanged, that young people should have the right to advocate for your own interests. And that's really what the First Amendment is about, which is important because young people don't have such a great deal in our society. You are the age group most likely to live in poverty, for example, with all of the implications that has around housing, pollution, etc. So that part is unchanged, and some other things are unchanged, like war. Now we're in so much war. We're spending so much money in our country on military and war. But what has changed is social media, and there are so many other tools that you have now. When I was a kid, this was our tool to express ourselves. Yeah. Now you've got a computer right in your pocket. You can put out, if you get censored, you can put it out in other ways, and it's happening all the time, which is one thing that a lot of adults don't realize, is that it works against their interest to try to censor you, first of all, because we want to encourage your opinions and your input into our society's problems and your solutions. But number two, it usually just backfires because you could still get the word out about what it is that you want to say.
So I also was just going to mention, we were just in kind of a sit-down area with Ms. Tinker, and she mentioned how only a quarter of high schools in the country have journalism classes and newspapers. And I just wanted to get your scope on that, and what do you think we can do as a solution to try and get journalism more prevalent in high schools and for students across the country?
It's really an expression of the extreme inequality in our society. And so one thing that some students have done is, if you have a journalism program, you could do an assessment of your town or your city or whatever to find out where there are journalism programs and where there are not. And then in D.C., where I live, one high school started a program called the Paper Project. They had journalism, and so they went and helped another school that didn't have one to get it started. And they went over there every week and they gave advice and they helped them with the nuts and bolts of what it took to get a journalism program up and running. And they did succeed, and they put out their issues, and it was really great. But I think a lot of it is a political solution, to vote for people and work for public policy makers that are going to fund schools adequately and put money into young people's programs and to fund the things that you need, like schools, journalism, free press.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Obviously means the world.
So great to be here
Yeah.
with all of you student journalists. It is the year of student journalism.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm so glad to be here with so many great journalists that are keeping the free press alive. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, student journalists.
Thank you so much.